Hello learners, today I will discuss the basics of Python. And, in this lecture, I will introduce Python to you. In last lecture, uh, we had introduced introduction to data science, and I also discussed AI, machine learning and data science and how they are interrelated and what are the similarities and differences between these important technologies. So, I have already covered these concepts, introduction to data science, as well as similarity and differences between AI, machine learning and data science. In today's lecture, I will discuss the background of Python and its basic components. So Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. He is a Dutch programmer, and currently he is working as an engineer in Microsoft. Previously, he has also worked with Google. So he actually introduced this Python language, which is very popular nowadays. The Python language is built around 19 rules from the Zen of Python. The Zen of Python is actually a set of 19 guidelines for writing good code. Some of the guidelines are such as if implementation is hard to explain, it is bad idea. So if code is hard to explain, so it means it's a bad idea. If the implementation is easy to explain, it may be a good idea. So if you are explaining your code easily and it is easily understandable, so that is the good idea. Flat is better than nested. It means suppose we are writing code in C, C++, Java, and there is option of nested if else condition, nested loop conditions. So better to write flat code. So these guidelines was proposed in Zen of Python, and Python is based on those guidelines. The first release appeared in 1991, and currently the third version is in the market. In this slide, I will discuss the features of Python. Python is an interactive, general purpose, object oriented and high level programming language. You can actually sit at a Python prompt and interact with the interpreter directly to write your program. So it's a very interactive programming, it's an interactive way of programming. And obviously it supports object oriented programming language. So we are having different paradigm of programming languages such as process oriented programming language, object oriented programming language. So we'll discuss whole concept of object oriented programming language in separate weeks. And Python supports object oriented as well. Although you can write in procedure oriented fashion, but you can write code in object oriented paradigm as well. And it is high level programming language, English like language. It support open source. It means Python is an example of FLOSS, free library and open source software. In simple terms, you can freely distribute copies of this software and you can read the software's source code. So that is the concept of open source. It is based on simplicity and readability. So that Python code is very simple. If you are writing a code in Python, so by looking on your code, a person can easily understand your whole code. It's portable. It means it can run on any type of platform. Once you have written the code, so it can be run in any type of platforms. Huge community of developers and users. So there are number of packages and libraries are coming into the market. Sorry. So developers are continuously working to develop different libraries in Python. So you will get a vast support of developer community in Python. Python works on different platforms, as I told you. It supports Windows based, and you can work on Linux based platform. So it supports all type of platforms. Python is widely used in various type of applications, whether you are developing web based application, or you are developing data science based application or machine learning based applications. Even you can develop application for Windows based. So using the Python, you can develop various type of applications. Vast support of libraries and frameworks. There are so much libraries and frameworks for different type of activities in Python. Let's say if you are interested in data science, that is the part of the course. Actually, we will use these frameworks. So for data science, we are having NumPy, Pandas, SciPy, PyTorch, and others. Similarly, if someone is working on machine learning, so separate libraries and frameworks are there: TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, PyBrain, PyML, and others. So we will use both of these data science based libraries and framework, and machine learning libraries as well, because we will use as far as modeling of data science is concerned, we will use these machine learning models, and for that we need to have these libraries and frameworks such as TensorFlow and Scikit-learn. As far as artificial intelligence based application is concerned, so one can use Keras, OpenCV, NLTK and others. Similarly, if someone is interested in web development, so several framework and libraries are there like Django, Flask, and so on. For network programming, we are having several libraries and frameworks: Pulsar, PyZMQ, and others. So you can work on different type of applications, and Python has support for that. You will find libraries and packages for that. Recently, I was working for a problem based on cryptography. So I was looking for a libraries for cryptographic based algorithm. So I got that library. So a vast community is actually supporting in different areas and different type of applications. This is the official homepage of Python programming language, that is www.python.org. There you will find Python, and you, according to your operating system, you need to download it. So and the extension of the file in which you are writing the program. So if you are writing a program and if you want to save that program in under Python, so the extension would be .py. So like for C we have extension .c, for Java we have extension .java. Similarly, to have a file in Python, so for that you need to include .py. Now we'll see integrated development environment and editors. So what is IDE and editors? IDE is actually a full-fledged environment that provides all essential tools required for software development. And as far as editor is concerned, so code editor is or you could say text editor or code editor is a lightweight tool that allows you to write and edit the code with syntax highlighting and formatting features. So these features are there. So code editor is a lightweight tool. And how to select IDE editor? So depending on your expertise, as a beginner you can go for IDLE or online Python editors, which will be perfect for you. And intermediate and advanced level of programmers can use Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, and so on. So as far as this course is concerned, we will use Google Colab for majority of the problems. And for a starting level of problems, for simple problems, we will be using IDLE as well. So the majority part will be part of the problems will be solved under Google Colab. And what is your purpose? As you know, since our purpose is data science, so we can go for Jupyter Notebook or Colab. And if someone is developing a web-based application, so they can go for PyCharm, Professional, VS Code, and so on. So these are certain IDE and editors that need to be used for writing program in Python language. Now there is a very popular IDE, that is Integrated Development and Learning Environment. So as soon as you download Python in your system and install it, you will be automatically provided with IDLE, right? So it is suitable for simple projects, as I told you. So you can write simple programs or simple projects. And how to download IDLE? So just go to the website. Let me show you where you can get that file. So here is the Python website. Here you can see there is an option downloads, and you need to press this button for downloading Python for Windows version. So if I will press it here, then automatically the download will be started. And after the download of this Python, then you can double click it to install. Once it will be installed, you can get the IDLE from here, this option, and then just press it, and you will get this IDLE editor. Here you can write anything, and here you can interact with the Python. It's providing you a shell where you can write anything. Like let me write, suppose I am printing something, print hello. Yes, I will write it here, and it's not visible. Yeah, let me press enter. Then it will be visible, right? So in this way you can interact with the Python shell. So we have seen how we can install a Python in our machine, and then we'll look for another IDE, that is Jupyter Notebook. It is a web-based interactive development environment. It is easy to use open source software that allows you to create and share live code, visualization, and others. So using Jupyter Notebook as well, you can write Python programs. So it provides you a proper management of different libraries of Python. So to install Jupyter, you can directly install Anaconda. So once you will install Anaconda, Jupyter will be installed automatically. So this is the very first method to install Jupyter. Otherwise, if you have some basic knowledge of command prompt, so you can directly write this code. Let me show you how we can install Jupyter Notebook through command prompt. So I will type here command, and I will write pip install Jupyter. So when I will press this option, so Jupyter will be installed. Since I have already installed Jupyter in this machine, so I am not going to install it again. Now to open the Jupyter environment, just write Jupyter Notebook. So once you will press Jupyter, once you will press enter, a web-based Jupyter Notebook will be opened here, and you can see it is being opened here, and it will look like in this manner. So here you can go to write code by using file option, and then under new there are different options like console, notebook, terminal. So I'm using a separate notebook here. So once I will press separate notebook, I will select the Python 3 and then I will come to this option. So which is very similar. Jupyter is actually backbone of Google Colab as well. So it is very similar to writing code in Google Colab. So you can interact with the Python shell here, like I'm pressing I is equal to 3, right? There is a variable I3 and I can write print I, and there is an option of executing this code. Just press it and you will get the option, you will get the result, right? 3. Suppose I am writing A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 4, and I can use a separate block to execute this code, right? I'm just writing S is equal to A plus B and then print S. So in a separate cell, I can execute the code. Let me run this one. Since first I need to execute this one and then it need to be executed, right? So I am writing the whole code. I have break the whole code in 2 different cells, right? So these are called cells. So 2 different cells. So I have initialized the value of A and B in this cell and summing those 2 variables A and B in second cell and printing the value, right? So in this way you can interact with the Jupyter notebook. Very soon we will interact with the Google Colab as well. So I will show you how what are the different options under Jupyter notebook environment and how we can effectively use this IDE for data science based problem development, data science based solution development. So this is the Jupyter notebook. Till now we have seen how we can install Python, how we can install Jupyter notebook. Another IDE and editor that is Google Colab, which is a free Jupyter notebook environment that runs entirely in the cloud. So it runs on cloud environment, Google Cloud environment. So you need to have an account in Google, and then you can use Google Colab as you are using, different product of Google like Google Drive and Google Form. Similarly, there is one more product, Google Colab, that you can use after logging into the system. There is no any requirement of installation and setup. It allows you to work in a team. Even there could be several team members, and each one is coding in their environment, and later on they can share the code. It supports many popular machine learning libraries. Almost all the libraries are there. Whether you are working in data science or you are working on machine learning based problems, or you are working on AI based problems. So almost all the libraries are there pre-installed. So you need not to install any libraries. So just log into the Google Colab and you directly work on the Google Colab environment. So it's a best option to use the Python. So if you want to work with Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab, so just I have already told you how you can use IDE or Jupyter Notebook or even Colab. And I have already shown you how you can write a statement in IDE or Jupyter Notebook. Just you need to use print and then the string that will be printed. Here there are certain variables, A is equal to 50, B is equal to 6, C is equal to A modulo B. So as soon as you write this one, so result will be visible. So Python is an interpreted language. So we'll discuss what is compiled language and interpreted language. So A Praetor language is a line-by-line compilation actually. So, Python supports this type of compilation. Python expressions and statements can be run in in an interactive programming environment called the shell. So you are actually interacting with the shell. Each user is being provided with a separate shell. So once you log into the Google Colab or you are using Jupyter Notebook, so it is providing you a separate shell. There you will find the prompt I have already shown you, and then you can write print Python hello world, and as soon as you press the enter button, you will get the result. You can use the calculator option to like 2 plus 3, 6 divided by 2, 6 divided by 4 and so on, using the Python shell. I will try to show you how you can interact with the shell. Even if you are using IDLE, you can write a program into a separate file. Just go to the new file. From the file menu of IDLE shell window, you will get this option. Write your program and save your file using the .py. I have already told you the extension of the Python file is .py. Use run module F5 from the run menu. So you will get, so in a separate file you will write the whole code. Instead of writing in on Python shell one by one, you can write the whole program into a separate file. So that is the beauty of IDLE. Here I have mentioned here two programs that you can write in Python. Now let me come to the IDLE. Then I will show you how you can write a separate program in a separate file. So I have already opened this option. So if you want to use different operators like a plus b, suppose I am having value as 4 plus 5, so it will give you a result. Similarly, I can write 5 divided by 4, so I will get the 1.25. If I want to have integer division, then I will write 5 then /4, so it will give me integer division. Similarly, if I want to find modulo of 78 modulo 5, so it will give you the result, right? So in this way you can use prompt of IDLE. And the another way to write program in IDLE, just open a new file like in this case and write the code here. Like in this case I am using a is equal to 10, then a and b are variables. We will discuss what are variables and what should be the data type and so on. So I will discuss in separate lecture. So here a and b are integers. So Python is type free language. You need not to mention data type. And then I am writing here s is equal to a plus b, and this is actually sum. I cannot write sum because it's a case sensitive language. So I'm writing it my sum, okay, and a plus b, and then print sum of two numbers, right, and then comma. You can add different parameters by using comma, and then my sum, okay, and then save it. I'm just pressing Ctrl S, and then I will write test here. Since save as type is already mentioned here, Python files, if somehow it is not being mentioned here, then you can give the extension as test.py or any name that you prefer. Then save it. So it has already saved. And then if you want to run this one, just run module. There is option run module. So as soon as I will press it here, the result will be visible, in IDLE shell. So it is visible in the shell. So in this way you can use a separate file to write the programs, right? Then if you want to print something more, then you can modify this code, right? And then you can write some more code. Okay, let me come to this part. So I have given you this two programs. Just try to write Python code for these two using IDLE. Even you can use Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook. So any editor can be used to write this program. As far as program documentation is concerned, you can include comment lines that actually provide documentation about your program. So if you want to add comment line is something, if you are including that comment line, so that code would not be interpreted, right? So it would not be actually executed. It would be outrightly rejected. So hash is used to comment a line. And as I told you, Python is case sensitive. It means capital A and small a, both are two different variables, right? And if you want to comment your single line, then you can use hash. If you want to comment multiple lines, then you can use triple quotes. So triple quote is used to comment multiple lines in Python. And then again, indentation is essential if you want to create a block. Suppose you are writing a for loop or you are including if statement. So to make your statement part of any condition or loop, then you have to use indentation in that sense. I will come to this indentation in later on lectures. Multiple statement can also be included in a single line that will be separated with semicolon, right? So you can write is equal to 5 and then semicolon and so on. So in a single line, multiple statements can be written. Keywords, there are certain reserved keywords that you cannot use. There are about I think 35 or 36 keywords are there that you can view by using this import keyword. Let me show you how we can use Python shell to show number of keywords. So here is my Python file. I'm just writing here import keyword as k, right? So I'm just trying to find out the length of the number of keywords that are used here. Then I will use print kw list, length, length will give me total number of keywords, and then again I save it and run module. So here you will get, so there are currently 35 keywords, right? So in this way, keywords are 35, not 36 in this case. Similarly, if you want to include some more code here, like if you want to store length in a separate variable, let's say temp is equal to kw list, right? So I can use it here directly without directly temp. So I can use temp here. Just save it and then run it. So in this way you can use a Python file. Now there are several advanced Python libraries, right? We have seen simple how to write simple programs in Python, but as far as this course is concerned, you need to have several advanced libraries such as scikit-learn and then NumPy, Pandas, and PyTorch, and so on. And similarly, Seaborn or Matplotlib, and there are several other Python libraries, especially for visualization. So we need to use these libraries. So in this lecture, I will also introduce you to some popular advanced libraries that we will use during the course. The very first one is NumPy. So NumPy stands for numerical Python. It is a library consisting of multi-dimensional array. So you can create one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three, even you can create n-dimensional arrays, and a collection of routines for processing those arrays, such as sum, maximum, minimum. So you can directly calculate using these routines. If suppose you are having two NumPy array, A and B, so you can directly take product of these two using the routine. So this is the best option. I mean, in case of C, C++, Java, you have to write the whole code. If you want to multiply two matrices, then you need to include three loops, right, to calculate the product of two matrices in case of C, C++, Java. But here we have several flexibility. We can directly calculate the product of two NumPy array. Using NumPy, mathematical and logical operation on array can be performed. So here you can see to use NumPy array, I need to import it first, and then I am creating a variable of NumPy array, and here I am populating the whole data, and once you will print it, you will get the this NumPy array. The next library that we will be using is Pandas. Panda is a Python library used for working with data sets, which is a very popular advanced library. It has function for analyzing, cleaning, exploring, and manipulating data. So you will get different type of functions as far as pandas are concerned. Pandas can clean messy data set and make them readable and relevant. We will be using pandas uh, during the whole data science based project. So here you can see if I need to use pandas, I need to import panda, and then I'm declaring a variable of data frame, that is df, and this data has been created using the dictionary. What is dictionary and list, that I will discuss in later on weeks. So once you will pass it to data frame, it will give you a result in the form of row and column, right? So it's a very best way to read data set. Now the next advanced library that we will be using, Seaborn. Seaborn is a Python library for making statistical graphics. So for visualization purpose, actually we will use Seaborn. It is built on top of Matplotlib and integrates closely with Pandas data structure. Here again I am using Pandas, since I need to read the data set first, then that data set will be used for different visualization. Here I am using a data set that is PIMA diabetes data set, and that I am after that I am using correlation to create a correlation matrix of different attributes of this data set, and I have displayed a heat map that is depicting the correlation between different attributes or different features of data set actually. So these are the features of this particular data set. So it gives you a very interactive way of displaying different type of graphs. So Seaborn, in that context, Seaborn is a very important library. The next one that we will be using in our course will be scikit-learn, sklearn. Scikit-learn is the most useful and robust library for machine learning in Python. It provides a selection of efficient tools for machine learning and statistical modeling, including classification, regression, clustering, and so on. So you will get different type of uh, functions and different libraries under scikit-learn for classification and regression and clustering and so on. Scikit-learn focuses on modeling the data. Some of the most popular groups of model provided by sklearn are as follows: supervised learning. So, almost all the popular supervised learning algorithms like linear regression, support vector, SVM, support vector machine, SVM decision tree, and others are the part of scikit-learn. As far as unsupervised learning is concerned, so it also has all the popular unsupervised learning algorithm from clustering, factor analysis, principal component analysis to unsupervised neural network and so on. Similarly, as far as clustering is concerned, this model is we are having a separate feature for clustering as well. Here is a simple program that depicts how we can use scikit-learn. So here I am importing linear regression, right? I am trying to use linear regression, and I have created a handler for that here in this case. And xtrain and ytrain are my training data set, right? Xtrain and ytrain. Xtrain is training data set of independent feature, and ytrain is training data set of dependent feature, right? I am trying to fit my linear regression model, and then after that I am predicting the value of my testing data set. So in this way, it's a very simple program. Later on, we'll discuss the whole full-fledged data science-based problem utilizing these advanced library. So in this lecture, we have seen, just to summarize it, I'm just stopping here. To summarize it, we have seen what are the features of Python, why it is very popular these days. We have seen different integrated development environment and editors such as IDLE, then Google Colab and Jupyter Notebook. We have already seen how to run a Python code utilizing IDLE or Jupyter Notebook. Then we have already seen introduction of advanced libraries. So these uh, these have been discussed in this particular lecture. We will meet again in next lecture. Thank you so much.